This is the Van Zyl Pass, the fiercest off-road examination in Namibia, and we're about to drive over it and plunge 600 metres into the valley below. The steepest parts of this pass are 35 degrees. That's like driving down a black ski run that's covered in boulders in a 2.5 ton car. The next 20 kilometres are going to take us 2.5 hours. Time to deploy some of the Defender's technology. So you can delve into the menus and control everything manually, select the amount of diff lock you want, the amount of slip you want on each wheel, or you can be very un-Defender and just put the terrain response mode in auto and let the car decide for you what it wants to do. Either way, you can see on the display in the center here what's going on with your diffs and your various angles. What you must do is remember to put the car into low range mode. For that, you put the gear lever in neutral, you hit this button that says low, you get your green icon on the screen, and you're away. You must also put the car in its off-road height. Standard cars come on coil springs, of course. This is on air suspension that self-levels, it lowers when you need to do stuff like load the boot, or can stand up on its tiptoes for more extreme stuff like this. Right, think we're ready. Off we go. Let the car do the work, Jack. Let the car do the work. So the chassis on the new Defender is called DX7. It's an aluminium monocoque. It does have certain things in common with other aluminium platforms that Land Rover makes, but it's basically 90% all new parts, and it's the stiffest body that they've ever made, which when you're driving up and down what basically amounts to sheer cliff faces here, that's very reassuring indeed. There is some pretty smart technology at my fingertips, if I can bring myself to take my fingertips off the wheel. You hit this camera symbol down here, hit on-road mode, and you get this incredible 3D view of the car as viewed from the outside. It's called 360 Scout, the idea being like, it's like having a passenger who's got out the car and is scouting the track ahead for you, and it is pure witchcraft. Not entirely sure how it works, something to do with merging the images from all 5 cameras around the car and creating this picture you see down here, but it's absolutely brilliant. I bet you that'd be really useful on width restrictors, as well as, well, insane mountain passes like this. Also, if we hit off-road mode down here, you've got the invisible bonnet mode. This is even cleverer, I think, because it's taking an image of the road in front of the car, then delaying that image and feeding it to this camera feed here. So you've effectively got the position of your front wheels and an image of what's going on under the car in real time, which is super useful when there's jagged rocks everywhere that could puncture all your tires. It's amazing stuff. If you buy this car, you owe it to the engineers to go and do some of this stuff. You don't have to come to Africa, you can do it in the UK, but you need to see what this car is capable of. It's absolutely phenomenal. And that's what happens when you don't get it right. Anyway, first big test complete. Next, things were about to open up considerably as we entered the Marion Floos. Just look at the scale of this place. It's absolutely stunning, and the surface has changed once again. We're now running on loose sand. We're following these tracks, which I'm told are laid down mainly by Toyotas. Most of the cars around here are Toyota pickups, which has a slightly narrower track than this Defender. And what that means is that it has a tendency to make the car weave left and right in a slightly disconcerting manner, but I'm told it's completely normal, so I'm going to ignore it for now. We've got some distance to cover today, so it's the perfect time to kick back and reflect on the fact that the Defender really is a very, very good road trip car. It's not luxury in the sense of leather and knurled metal switches like you get in a Bentley. The luxury here is space, because you've got all this storage space, big storage bins in the doors, and you've got this beam that runs right across the middle of the dash, magnesium alloy beam. You do get one of those in a Range Rover, except it's covered up. Here they've just exposed it in the Defender and created this really, really useful shelf for all your road trip crap, the Dickie Seat. So you've basically got the option of having a normal center console, or you can have this third seat in the middle. So when it's folded down like this, you've got cup holders here, you've got various power outlets behind it, you've got somewhere to put your phone back here. But then when you need to give someone extra a lift, you just flip it up like this. And there we go, 3 seats in the front. Okay, we've got some kilometres to kill, so I've got a side mission. Animal spotting. I'm told there's elephant, giraffe, rhino, lions and baboons around here. I can't be certain we'll see them, and clearly I'm no Attenborough, but eyes peeled, full safari mode engaged. Look, 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 look! James, get the camera out, look! Giraffe. Oh man, I'm not joking, it's an actual giraffe. I was semi-joking when I said we're going to see some animals. Look at it. Still buzzing from our epic close encounter, we arrive at our lodge just before dark, grab a beer and collect my thoughts. All right, that's the end of the day. Back at the extremely modest lodge. I thought I'd just download my thoughts because that was a massive day. That was the big one. It all started basically out of our tent, brush our teeth, straight down the Van Zel Pass, massively steep, a huge test for the car, but it really shrugged it off. The thing about the Defender is it makes you look like an off-road expert when really I'm doing little more than putting it in the right mode and resting my foot on the throttle. It's off-road! It's some good fun actually, because Nick Rogers, the chief engineer on the Defender, showed me how to rock a Defender back and forth. You balance 2 wheels and then you have the other 2 hanging in the air. Great fun. Felt a little bit like it might be my initiation into the off-road fraternity. One-handed. From there we headed down into the Mariam Floos, this incredible expanse of sand, really good fun, lots of speed. We could slide the car around a bit there. Felt like proper Africa, big sky, big landscapes, couple of flat tyres. That was quite amusing. Luckily, I was on hand to wield the wheel nut gun, and then we came across this shop, middle of nowhere. We'd been driving for hundreds of kilometres, hadn't seen another car, and suddenly this souvenir shop pops up out of nowhere. Bracelets, wooden elephants. What an amazing existence. They live and work there in the middle of nowhere. I set myself the task of seeing some animals. Basically, I decided I was on safari, and I thought we'd hit the jackpot when I spotted a giraffe about 600 metres away. We got a shot of it, came round the corner, boom, an entire herd of giraffes. It was amazing. We just crawled along with them, tried not to disturb them. And the car, completely resilient, totally unstoppable, but also quite a lot of fun. I wouldn't call it nimble, but it certainly has a balance to it. I feel like I'm starting to bond with the car. So much fun. Quite a lot to process. So I think on that note, I'm just going to say cheers, sign off, try and get some sleep.
Here we are on our way south through France. Mont Ventoux is several hundred miles that way, and if conditions are this bad here, what's it going to be like when we get there? We've got Kit in the Nomad, which is mostly surviving. At the front of the rig though, the Discovery is brilliant. Not only is it sailing through nasty conditions like this, but we've got it set up like a mobile office for James the videographer and Mark the photographer, so they can do a load of editing. I think we ought to start with a little handbrake turn. Right, time to open the gate. God, I'm so excited about this. Is the key to the mountain. So exciting. Here it is. How's that going? Metal clanking occurs. Oh. Yep. All the way up. be wondering what's going on here. Well, I've had the Nomad for several months now and it has been utterly terrific. I've used it every day, done 6,000 miles in it. But up until now, what it hasn't had is a proper adventure. This is a proper adventure. Out here is Mont Ventoux. In summer, it's really famous as a stage of the Tour de France. In winter, no one comes here. No one comes here because it's so hostile. So I rang up the Vaucluse Roads Department and said, I don't suppose you ever let anyone on the mountain in winter? And they said, well, no one's ever asked, but if you want the key to the barrier, come and get it. So I went and got it, and this is the result. It's -10, -15 out here. It's blowing an absolute hoolie. We've stuck on the lee side so you're not in the wind at the moment, and we're just driving up. I want to get to the summit. What I really want is a proper sunset at the summit, because that will look amazing. I'm in the heart of France during the Brexit negotiations, and I'm flying a Union Jack from my car as I attempt to go and conquer a mountain. I'm sure there's some sort of analogy in there somewhere. Funnily enough, when you've got snow, you've actually got traction. When you've got ice, not so much at all. This is the Col de Tempête, just near the summit of Mont Ventoux. It's the windiest point on the mountain. When we parked the Nomad on the other side, the flag was blowing so hard, it was pretty much, well, it still is, just about touching the skis. It doesn't flap that much at 80 miles an hour on the motorway. So we've got icicles developing down by the number plate down here. It's the flag. I think the flag at some stage, surely the flag's going to take flight.
The higher we went, the more the cloud and wind closed in, and the more the cars struggled. And then I got the Nomad stuck.
Couldn't see because the windscreen was all blocked up, was that there was a little bit of a drift, so the front wheels rode up over it and the back wheels just fell into it, broke through the crust. So a little bit of digging should have us out in 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Keeping warm at least, except for my fingers. My fingers on this side have gone completely numb. Righty-ho. So I'm going to try, if you can give a push, Mark. C'est bon. Voilà, ok. Mais si vous utilisez ça, how is it? Oopsie daisy. There we go, we're at the summit. The Nomad's made it, better than that, the Discovery's made it as well. It's so vicious up here. But look, we're just about getting some sunlight coming through.
As the clouds cleared, the landscape was revealed, and nature put on a stunning display. At sunset, we toasted our success and reflected on an amazing day. Parts of it had been tough, but slipping and sliding up a snowy, deserted mountain in a car so perfectly attuned to the conditions, so responsive, so charismatic, so much pure, unadulterated, undiluted, raw fun, well, that made this one of the best days ever.
Here at
Top Gear, we've been a little bit slack, if I'm honest. We still haven't brought you a video review of the brilliant new Suzuki Jimny. How can you not love this thing? But today we're going to put that right with the help of 2 extra wheels and a bit of a race. This is the Scrambler 1200 XE, Triumph's newest and most capable member of the Scrambler family. The E in XE stands for Extreme because this has longer travel off-road suspension, upgraded electronics and wider bars, so it's proper adventure spec, not just a retro makeover. A bit like the Suzuki Jimny then. It might be diddy, but this isn't just some lifestyle SUV. Yes, it works well around town and is really no bigger than a box of tissues, but it's actually a hard-as-nails little off-roader at heart. By the way, yes, these are all-season road tyres rather than knobbly off-road tyres, but Suzuki was confident they would cope with what we have planned today. Now, clearly there are some fairly major discrepancies between these two vehicles. Number of wheels is the obvious one, but also weight and weather protection. But there are similarities. Engines. This has a 1.2 litre twin with 89 brake horsepower. The car has just 11 horsepower more from a 1.5 litre engine, 100 horsepower. Both are naturally aspirated, both have manual gearboxes. The bike costs from around 12.5 grand. This starts from 15.5 grand. But most importantly, despite the fact that both of these look fantastic when you're poncing around outside a cafe, both of them are born to be off-road. So here's the plan. We're at Triumph's incredible adventure experience centre at the foot of the Brecon Beacons in Wales to have ourselves a little race. Car versus bike, one at a time against the clock around a loop that involves loose gravel, big bumps and severe slopes. Riding the Triumph is the annoyingly talented Matt Reed, driving the Jimny is the annoyingly competitive me. Right, bike first, let's see what I can learn from the pro. Right mate, you ready? Yep. Start your engine mate. 3, 2, 1. You won't be happy with that start. Bit of wheel spin there. Bit unprofessional, isn't it? You see him, he looked nervous, didn't he? You could tell. It's the Jimny. It's an intimidating machine, isn't it? Right, it's gone quiet now, which either means he's fallen off down the side of a ravine, or he's absolutely hammering it into the distance and going to set a time that I can't even get close to. Probably the latter, I think. So I've tried to memorise where the big bumps are, the one that will break my suspension. The rest of it I'm just going to take flat as I can, apart from the downhill stuff, because then I'll understeer. Whoa, 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 hang on a minute. Stand back, here he comes, here he comes. He's still on the bike. He's still on the bike. Woo! Oh! Not bad, 3 minutes 20. Is it a good time? Nobody knows. I literally have no reference point, but that is my target, 3:20.05. Come on, Jimny. Time to beat it. Right, 3 minutes 20 to beat. Should not be a problem for a car of the Jimny's calibre. Proper little off-roader, as I said. So you've got rear-wheel drive mode, four-wheel drive mode, and then low-range four-wheel drive mode. We're going to go for four-wheel drive mode. There's the satisfying mechanical clunk, ready to go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, the perfect start with four-wheel drive, zero loss of traction. Right, we're off. This is the flat bit, so I can get a bit of speed up here. Well, flat-ish. All right, here's the plan. Don't crash. That's it. That's the whole plan. Woohoo, get loose around there. Okay, come on, Jack, second gear. Oh, long gears in this thing. You've only got 5 of them. So now, if my memory serves, there's a very bumpy section coming up here. Ooh, there it is. Come on, you wee beastie. Oh, oh. Right, downhill. This is the one bit of the track I figured out where I'm actually quicker than a motorbike. Downhill, because it's a super loose surface. Turning right. Right, again, a nice flat bit. Let's get your speed up, Jack. Tough as nails, this car, isn't it? Here we go, through the puddles, through the gate. Right, we're on the top loop now. Ooh. I mean, it's more rally driving than off-roading this, but there are a few sections where you've got to be super careful, and there's one coming up here. A downhill slope, super loose. That's about half of the course done. I mean, I have nothing to gauge this with, but in my mind, I am ahead. I'm streets ahead of the motorbike. Was this car designed for this? Well, they said it can go off-road, it can handle loose surfaces. They say it's super stable. Into first gear for the uphill slope. This is the big, oh, come on! Look at that traction, unbelievable. Bet I was quicker than the bike up there. Right, all right. Right-hander, tight. Into the left-hander. And it's downhill here. A couple more bumps to negotiate before we get there. Here's the finish line. I can see his face. He's worried already. And across the line. Now, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but that felt good. Better than 3 minutes 20 good. I'm absolutely tingling with the adrenaline. Go on then.
Did all right.
Give it to me. I think there's something wrong with your clock, mate. 5 minutes. So hang on, that's
Total.
1 minute 40 slower than you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think your phone might be broken. You might want to take that to Carphone Warehouse after this.
I did double check it. So I think, you know, we're
All right.
pretty good.
It's a fair result, but how impressed are you with this little car? Tough as nails, isn't it?
I am impressed, considering I know every rock, ditch and bump. But
Had to be, that's probably worth about 1 minute 40 around here, would you say?
maybe.
Yeah.
It's done really well.
I'll take that as a moral victory.
Yeah, good.
So there you have it, a comprehensive victory for the Triumph, an awesome machine. But I can't tell you how impressive the Jimny is when you throw it at the scenery. The ground clearance means you just fly over everything. Most of these won't see action beyond a supermarket car park, and that's a bit of a shame because it's so much more capable than its size or badge or price tag suggests. A proper little indestructible brick of a car this is, for not much money at all. Which brings me to the 4-hour drive back to London. Bit of a chill in the air, looks like it might rain, getting pretty dark. It's only one of the two that I should really drive home. Well, you only live once.